want to give a brief introduction to Three.js. In short, Three.js is a library of WebGL to program 3D stuff. So what's the relationship between WebGL and Three.js? WebGL is a JavaScript API for interactive 2D and 3D graphic. It renders on the HTML5 canvas. And instead of using the CPU to render your 3D, it's more efficient to use the GPU. So WebGL does that for you. And what does Three.js do? You can create 3D geometries, 3D object, make 3D animation, create a 3D object with different textures, like a 3D game type of thing. And then one of the best features I like that is you can load 3D modeling from modeling software like any kind of CAD software or Blender, which makes 3D movie. And you can also do 2D sprite-based graphics. To render a 3D scene, you need three main components. One is the camera that defines what are you showing, what are you rendering, just like shooting a movie. And also lights. You can have multiple lights from different directions to light up the object. And lastly, the object that you are interested to show in 3D. And to make up the object, you need two things. One is geometry. There are the points of the vertex of the 3D object, and also the faces then connected by the point. And for material, basically, is how does the 3D object look? Things like color, transparency. You can also use bitmap texture to make it prettier. Okay, I want to give a demo. I'm running a server locally with my little project. So this is our Polulu 3Pi robot. As you can see, it's showing in 3D and it's rotating by itself. And also I can control it with my mouse. You can rotate it upward, downward, left and right. And on the left corner, it shows the frame per second. So right now it's running at 43 frames per second. This is very useful if you want to know how well your 3D application is performing. So this is a lot of stuff rendering on that 3D model, so that's why it's not running at 60 frames per second. Okay, let's go back. Here are some useful libraries. The one that shows you the one that shows you the frame per second is this thing called status.js. This is part of the Three.js. You can include it in the code, and then it will show you this information on your 3D project. And then this thing called that.gui, very interesting. Here's a demo. There's this tiny box here that controls your value, variables value in your JavaScript. So you can control things like speed, and you can have something like a Boolean value. You can explode. All kinds of stuff you can do with this. Very useful for your 3D project. But this is not part of Three.js. This is something developed by, I think, a team from Google. And to convert, so my 3-pi robot model is converted from a file called obj to JSON. The good thing about converting to JSON is that you can manipulate the vertex after user load your JSON file. You can change the location of point to morphing and other stuff. It's very interesting, and here's the documentation. Somehow it's a Python program. So you have to install Python, and yeah, it's part of Three.js. And one interesting thing I found is if you want to have color in your model when you convert from one file to the other, you need to include this -b option. So then it bakes the material color onto the faces. So then that will be included in the JSON file. That way your object has color. Otherwise, it will just be a blank thing. Then here's this orbital control. There are many control libraries in Three.js. This is just one of them. And I use this in the 3-pi robot demonstration. Yeah, so this is right now it's rotating, like orbiting like a planet. But one thing is that the object and the light itself doesn't rotate. What is rotating is actually the camera instead of the object. So if when I was working on this, I tried to make sure outside of the each side of the object is light up. So I tried to place. I thought if I have one light source, then it will just showing it like Earth and Sun. And only one side gets light up, and the other side will be dark. But that's not the case. I have to light up from 6 sides to make it fully light up. Yeah, the rotation only rotates the camera, not the object. Here are the support browsers. So pretty much all the browsers with the latest version support WebGL, and not much on the mobile browser. However, BlackBerry browser support it. Many people use it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, well, for a good source of learning Three.js, I recommend this book, and also you can check out GitHub. Three.js GitHub. That's all.
Great. Thanks, Ryan.